difference between a good founder and an iconic one isn't experience or skill set or even look, it's psychology. And most founders don't even realize they're operating at the wrong level. And I actually didn't realize this either until I started working with founders that are the absolute pinnacle leaders in their industry. They are operating at the highest level. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what I've learned from them so you too can become the most known and trusted voice in your industry. The first thing that iconic founders do that maybe mediocre or good founders don't is they don't flip-flop at all. Once they make a decision and they make the decision fast, they really do commit to it. So when we first started out in business, we were actually working with kind of small local businesses, and we would talk to them about their content marketing. And the founder of that business would come to us and they'd be so excited about the thought of doing content marketing, about doing video marketing. And they would be really eager, really excited. And then we'd be like, right, this is how you sign up. And they'd be like, great. And then they'd maybe get back in touch just with some questions, just with some concerns, going, is this the right strategy for me? Do you not think it would be better to sort of invest in ads instead? Like, I'm really not sure. So we'd answer those questions, maybe get on another call with them. They still weren't sure. And then eventually sometimes they'd just completely ghost us. And what we found was about a year later, they'd come back to us and say, okay, I'm ready to really think about this video marketing thing again. And in that time, in that year, in that space, they had done absolutely nothing. They had done no marketing. They had just been frozen with indecision. Iconic founders do not do this. They make a decision and they go for it. They don't worry about whether it's the right decision. And this is sometimes what people get wrong. They constantly think, well, what if I pick the wrong strategy? Very rarely do people pick the wrong strategy. What people do is they just flip-flop on different strategies. They don't give it time. They don't give the strategy time. They question it. They go from one thing to another thing to another thing and actually achieve nothing. Really good iconic founders make a decision to do something and they act on it and they pour their heart and soul into it. They want that thing to succeed. So they'll dedicate their team to it. They'll make sure they spend money on it. They'll dedicate their time and effort on it if it requires it as well. If that's the decision they've made, that's the route they're going to go down and they 100% commit to it. And that's the difference between an iconic founder and a mediocre or good founder. Number two, iconic founders talk to the market constantly. They are constantly talking to the market and listening back. That's the most important thing. Some founders of businesses are very focused on the product. They want the product to be exceptional, which is obviously great, but they focus solely on the product and they think that the product is the thing that's going to sell them. That's not the thing that's going to sell them. Otherwise, it would only be the best products that ever get sold. And we know that sometimes it's not the best products that get sold. It's the most popular products that get sold. It's the most heard of products that get sold. So iconic founders are constantly talking to the market. They're sharing their beliefs. They're sharing why they set up this product. They're sharing the origin story. They're sharing the mindset shifts that they think their audience needs to make. They're sharing really helpful, valuable content. They're constantly doing that in order to gauge the market, in order to be able to sell this product to them. Essentially, they are selling themselves and they are selling their business at the same time. They are constantly talking to that market and they are listening back as well. They're listening for feedback. They're reading comments. They're constantly communicating and listening and then feeding that back to their product team. But it is in this process that makes them an iconic founder. It's not that they focus solely on the product. It's that they're able to go out to the market and prove to the market that their product is the best, that their way is the best. And that's what an iconic founder does. So don't just focus solely on the product, focus on the market itself. Actually speak to the market 10 times more than you probably already are, because that is who's going to buy your product. You can have the best product in the world. If no one's heard of it, it doesn't matter. Number three, they invest time and money in the right things. So iconic founders are not afraid to invest money as long as it is in the right thing. So they will invest money in order to give them time back. They will hire a mentor if it saves them 6 months or 1 year or 2 years or whatever it might be. They will hire that person in order to give them time back. They will invest in content in order to be able to sell more of their product. They will not see spending money as an expense, but as an investment. And as long as it makes sense to them, they will not fear it. They'll just go for it. Mediocre founders are more cautious with money. So they will fear investing. They will fear getting that mentor in case it doesn't pay dividends. They'll fear investing in content in case, that money that they spend on it doesn't deliver ROI. They'll constantly think about these things. And because they do that, it means they're not as successful. It means things take longer. It means it's harder to sell their product or service. Having a healthy money mindset where you buy more time back for your business, or you buy essentially more sales, is something that iconic founders do time and time again. Some mediocre founders or maybe newbie founders really find this difficult, and it's a real stumbling block in order to get over, particularly if you've never really been taught about money this way. You know, from school and from our parents, you might have been taught to scrimp and save and always make sure that you've got money in the bank. Don't spend, don't splurge unnecessarily. And of course that's true, but you can take that too far where it becomes a detriment to your business. So oftentimes, in order to become a successful founder, you have to push through those money blockers and have to learn how to change your mindset around money in order to become iconic rather than mediocre. And number 4, and this one's really, really important, iconic founders know their strengths, but they also know their weaknesses. They are very, very aware of their weaknesses. And the reason why they are aware of their weaknesses is because they want to hire people who have the skill set where they are weak. So a lot of the founders that I work with are exceptionally good sort of big thinkers. They are really good at communication. They are great at putting into words what it is their product or service does, what their beliefs are, how they can make a change in the world. They are really good at getting people excited, at leading people. But when it comes to doing the actual work, that's the bit that they don't like to do. They don't actually like to get down into the nitty-gritty, into the details, making sure everything's perfect, everything's going out on time, or everything's organized, all that kind of stuff. They're just not interested in that. But they are very, very well aware of it. So they'll hire people to do that. A lot of mediocre founders are not aware of their strengths or weaknesses, and they're not really aware of their personality, of who they are and who they need to hire because of it. So they'll try and do everything themselves. And if you think about something like content creation, imagine doing everything yourself. So you've got to think of a big idea and how you explain that idea and get people on your side and really lead them and be charismatic. And then you've got to actually script that content or write that post or, you know, whatever it might be. You've got to actually do the work. And then thirdly, you've got to make sure that you've got a system in place. You've got to have a systems mindset to make sure that that content's going out week on week on week on week and your business is growing because of it. That's 3 very different people. You've got someone who's a big thinker, you've got someone who's very creative, and then you've got someone who's very systematic. That's very hard to get in one personality. I would say that was pretty much impossible to get in one personality. So iconic founders know that they cannot be all things. So they will hire people for their weaknesses and they will know their own strengths. Mediocre founders don't know these things. And finally, iconic founders are not afraid to be known. They are not afraid to put their head above the parapet and say, this is my opinion, this is my belief. Yes, it's contradictory to what's already out there. It's contradictory to what people saying in my industry are saying. Yes, I might get some flack for this, but this is where I stand on this topic. They are not afraid to do that. And the most iconic founders that we know are sometimes loved and hated, and that's absolutely fine. They're not afraid of that. As long as they can stand by their beliefs and they have the experience to prove it and back it up, they feel confident putting out there. Mediocre founders are very fearful of this. They don't want to say anything that might offend anyone. They don't want to disrupt anything. They want to impress their colleagues more than they want to, actually tell the truth to their target audience. They're very fearful of speaking up, so their content is very, very safe. The big iconic founders are always going to be a little bit polarizing, and that's okay. If you're constantly playing it safe, it's a sign that you are a mediocre founder and you need to change your mindset around that. I would absolutely love to know which one of these 5 you struggle with the most. Just let me know in the comments below. And if you want to apply psychology to your video content, then when creating something exceptional, and it's coming very, very soon, it's a new video app and it will help you plan, record, edit, and publish your content. But most importantly, in the planning stage, we'll have these wonderful psychological triggers that will keep your audience hooked, just as you have been throughout this video. In fact, I've actually scripted all my videos today on my video shoot day using this very tool. So it's been very, very exciting for me, and it's got all those nice psychological triggers through it. So just click the link below in the description to sign up to the waitlist, and you'll be the first to hear when it launches, and you'll get some surprise extra bonuses as well.